Good afternoon. I am Marlene Carter. I am student nurse, and today I'll be discussing the signs and symptoms associated with traumatic brain injury. Traumatic brain injury signs and symptoms may vary depending on the trauma and the damage done to the brain. Most traumatic brain injuries, commonly called concussions, are mild and occur each year. People are placed at a higher risk for having another TBI if they have had previous experience, if they have had one previously. The signs and symptoms may appear right away, days or months after the injury, or they may not be noticeable at all, or the person may not even know they're experiencing problems. The signs and symptoms of TBI fall into four categories: thinking, physical, emotional and mood, and sleep. The traumatic brain injury symptoms and causes, according to the website of the Mayo Clinic, list the common signs and symptoms of traumatic brain injury, which include physical symptoms that are loss of consciousness for a few seconds to a minute, a state of being dazed, confused or disoriented, headaches, nausea and vomiting, fatigue or drowsiness, problems with speech, difficulty sleeping, or sleeping more than usual. Dizziness or loss of balance is also physical signs of traumatic brain injury. Sensory symptoms are also listed, and they include blurred vision, ringing in the ears, a bad taste in the mouth, the ability to smell may change, a sensitivity to light or sound, and the cognitive or mental symptoms of a traumatic brain injury are memory or concentration problems, mood changes or mood swings, a feeling of depression or anxiousness. And according to the CDC website, Centers of Disease Control, and what they talk about as far as traumatic brain injury, they listed potential dangerous signs to look out for in an adult. And those signs and symptoms include, and that you should seek medical attention right away, but those signs and symptoms include drowsiness, different sized pupils, convulsions or seizures, trouble recognizing people or places, unusual behavior, confusion and restlessness, or agitation. Now, remember, I just spoke on this is according to the CDC website, and they list the potential danger signs. So these are the danger signs that you want to look for if any adult patient or anybody, family member, anybody ever after concussion experience these signs or symptoms, definitely seek medical attention for them right away. Now, the CDC also talks about children. Um, each year we have children who partake in physical sports at schools and even if at home, just a weekend fun with friends on a trampoline and fall off or any accident happen that results in traumatic brain injury. The CDC said that you should seek emergency care immediately if they receive a blow, bump, or jolt to the head or body and display any of these symptoms which include excessive crying and are inconsolable. They will not eat and refuses to be nursed. So, if you have a child who's ever experienced um, any of these symptoms, be sure to get them some help right away. Seek medical attention. Um, as kids, they often partake in horseplay. Just I was a kid once. I'm, sure that you were also. Where I grew up in a house only girl with two brothers, so I had to be tough. um, thank goodness a lot of times we didn't have any concussions or anything. But these are signs and symptoms that you definitely want to look out for in children, especially because they may not even know to tell you at the time that I'm experiencing this, or they may not be old enough to explain themselves and letting you know how they really feel. Um, should you experience any of these signs or symptoms resulting from a concussion or any event causing a traumatic brain injury, be sure to get the proper medical advice or treatment immediately. And this is a very serious disorder. With me and my group just doing this project, I realized how serious this is. And my daughter, who is now 18, was once on the cheerleading team. And they spoke about concussions all the time, and I'm like, oh goodness, I hope and pray that she don't get a concussion. But thankfully, with all these signs and symptoms, I've never noticed any in her. So thankfully, she's never obtained any sign or symptoms of concussion. This concludes my presentation on traumatic brain injury, signs and symptoms. I hope that this has been very informative for you. Thank you.